US President Donald Trump has reaffirmed Washington's recognition of Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara in a message addressed to King Mohammed on the anniversary of Throne Day. Now, in his message, Trump wrote that US recognizes Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara and supports Morocco's credible and realistic autonomy proposal as the only basis for a just and lasting solution to the dispute. Trump cautioned that any other approach would only prolong the current situation, which is unacceptable, vowing that Washington will continue to advance efforts which are aimed at bringing the dispute to an end. Now, the ongoing dispute over Western Sahara continues to influence diplomatic movements in North Africa. Morocco advocates for a framework of expanded autonomy for the region, while maintaining its own overarching sovereignty. Conversely, the Polisario Front, backed by Algeria, seeks to hold a referendum to achieve full self-determination. The dispute dates back to 1975. When Spain ended its colonial rule of the territory, it escalated into armed conflict between Morocco and the Polisario Front until a 1991 ceasefire. The ties between Washington and Rabat entered a new phase during Trump's first term in December 2020, when he issued a proclamation recognizing Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara, after Morocco agreed to normalize relations with Israel. Now, the development comes as tens of thousands of migrants from Morocco. They entered Spain's enclave of Ceuta, North Africa, in recent days, deaths from the surge in crossings had risen to at least 67. Spain's interior minister said that almost all of 60,000 migrants who entered the enclave had left by Saturday. Although the incident prompted some EU countries to bolster their border controls over the sudden influx. After migrants reached the frontier earlier in the week, Spain installed a 500-meter-long barrier on the sea border between its North African territory of Ceuta to prevent the crossings.
When we heard that the gates opened, all of the people who work with me, kitchen staff and waiters, all left and we all left. I spent one day without food. All shops and markets were closed. This seems to have been agreed upon. They imposed a siege to force us to leave Ceuta on our own. That is what happened. They succeeded in their plan.
Now, despite the reduced risk, the European Union is all set to hold emergency talks on Tuesday to discuss the influx, after tense exchanges between Spain and other member states. The 22 nations issued a joint letter calling for coordinated action and the strengthening of the EU's external borders. Now, in a separate letter to EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has assured that the Spanish government had restored control over the border, preventing unauthorized onward movement towards continental Europe in less than 48 hours. Sanchez also said that he had serious concerns about some European governments. On Saturday, the Spanish city of Ceuta witnessed protest and counter-protest over the migration crisis. The residents turned on Saturday evening to reject a protest held in the city by far-right and racist political movement in Spain that featured a well-known right-wing Spanish influencer. Residents of the city, where an uneasy calm had set in earlier in the day, they crowded a square downtown, chanting slogans like "Fascists out of our city" and "Don't come here anymore." Ceuta and the larger Spanish territory of Melilla, they are located on the northern shores of the Mediterranean coast, at the tip of Africa. Both autonomous cities belong to Spain and share the European Union's only land borders with Europe.